Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm doing another off-grid questions video where I answer some of the more common questions that we get asked as off-grid homesteaders. If you're new here, hi, welcome to our channel. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you for watching. Whoever you are, wherever you are, make sure you've hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any updates from us. Now, onto the video. Today, I want to answer two very common questions that we get, and they pertain to water. People often assume that living off-grid means you don't have any modern conveniences. That can certainly be the case, that can certainly be true, but not in our case. We do have things that we do without that you would have in the city, but as far as house functionality, we're actually pretty similar to a house you'd find anywhere that's an on-grid house in the city. There's a few workings of a normal city house that differ from our home, from our off-grid home, but we do have most systems in place even if they work a little bit differently. So the first question I wanted to answer is one that we get asked often, and it's a bit on the personal side. How do you shower?
Start it again.
Okay.
That part.
Yeah. So the first question I wanted to answer is a bit on the personal side. How do you shower? I'd like to say with water and soap, like everybody else does. But in all seriousness, we shower in a regular indoor shower. It's almost exactly like one that you would see in the city. And it's actually a white tile bathtub shower combo, which I have always said that I wanted in my dream house. So that's a plus. The biggest difference in our bathroom shower is that we are much more conscious of what kinds of soaps we use, as well as what kinds of care products that we use. This is because our drain goes straight outside and actually drains down a hill to two of our gardens. As a female, I use a lot more shower products than Andre does, but we both are very careful to use as natural of products as possible. Actually, as a quick side note, one of our goats has actually started producing milk, so this means that we can start to make our own soaps now. That's something that I'm super excited for. That's something that I'm really looking forward to. That covers the first question. The second question that I wanted to answer is, do you have a water source? Obviously, if we have an indoor shower, we do have a water source. We do have an indoor water source, or an outdoor, water source, and we are very fortunate. It happens to be plumbed into the house, which means that we do have running water indoors, hence why we are able to have indoor showers instead of having to go outdoors or bathe in the lake. It is a spring water source, and it is gravity fed, which means exactly how it sounds. Gravity does the work. Because we're in the mountains, our water comes from mountain springs that are higher up, and the appropriate materials and lines have already been used and placed so that our water source is secure. The actual spring comes from water pressure, which is created by an aquifer. If you don't know what an aquifer is, aquifers are underground water sources, most often found in mountainous regions. But aquifers are most commonly inside permeable rock or underground layers of materials like sand, clay, and gravel. These substances function as a sponge, soaking up the water that seeps down into them. Just a little side note. As for how our system in particular works, we have an 8-foot long, lengthwise, corrugated steel tube, which is about 4 feet in diameter, and that excuse me, about 4 feet in diameter that is rooted in the ground. From that steel tube, which is about a quarter of a kilometer or 250 meters from the main house, we have 1.5-inch pipe that's run at about 3.5 feet underground level. It is that deep so that it doesn't freeze in the winter because it does get pretty cold up here. That pipe runs from the water source, or the 8-inch corrugated steel tube that's in the ground, into the main house. Now, our water comes from natural sources, and this for us means that we do not have the PSI, or pounds per square inch, that one would have in the city. This is for two main reasons. The first one, the water does not have the same pressure behind it as you would have in the city. with mechanical sources like water treatment plants and an on-grid city system. Reason number 2, our water source is relatively close to us. This means, for those of you who are good at physics, this means the water has less distance to travel and it doesn't have as much of a chance to gather velocity or to create as much pressure. Just as a comparison, your average city on-grid home is around 40 to 60 psi. We're probably sitting at about 25 to 30 psi. So it is still pressured water. We do still have water, but it's not the same level of pressure you'd find in the city. However, one of the couples in our community has a water pressure of about 150 psi, and this is because his water source is located probably at about 10 times the distance of ours, and it's much higher up the mountain. This particular couple, we were actually so fortunate as to be able to go and see their water system, and it was amazing to see the changes that they had done and all of the work that they did by themselves, mind you, in order to put those systems in place to create their own water or to divert their own water into their house. They created dams, culverts, and diversions to send the water where it needed to go. I was honestly, when we went to go see it, I was honestly awestruck at how much work it took to get all of the things in place for it to happen. And thinking about these individuals doing it themselves was pretty amazing. You don't see that kind of work ethic often. So even in our little surrounding community, not everyone has the same water source. Some people have wells, which is similar to a natural spring, but differs in that it's man-made and dug directly into the ground, whereas a spring is naturally flowing up to the surface from the Earth's groundwater. Other individuals use creeks, some are connected to rivers or lakes, and others collect rainwater. Wherever you are, that's always a possibility that you could collect rainwater. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this answered some of the questions. I know that's a really common one that we get asked. Those are two really common questions about our water that we are often asked. I appreciate the views. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.